Hi, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management. I'm bringing an important update this week about the economy and all the investment markets, so hopefully you can better your portfolio. You know, every single week I continue to get dozens and dozens of calls and questions, not only through the office website, but also obviously on my radio show. And the big question that continues to come up from investors, they hear about us talk about our investment strategy, about our GTOP Global Tactical Opportunity Portfolio that is part of each and every one of our client managed accounts. And really, what does that mean? And you know, really, what is an investment strategy? Why is it important? And why is it important that you follow an investment strategy? And this is where really the rubber hits the road. Unfortunately, most investors do not have a written investment strategy. And all a written investment strategy really is your recipe, your roadmap, your direction, how to get from point A to point B. How are you actually going to manage your money? What is your buy and sell criteria? When do you buy? When do you sell? When do you upgrade a position in your portfolio? When does something become overvalued and you replace with a better opportunity? When do you hold more cash? When do you go into more fixed income? When you change your bond position? You know, different things like that will go into an investment strategy. And I would argue that 9 out of 10 investors, and probably higher than that actually, but 9 out of 10 investors do not have a written investment strategy, meaning they really have no strategy at all. And when you're doing something like investing, it has to be very rules-based. Otherwise, you're going to shoot from the hip, or you're going to be an emotional investor. You're going to make decisions based upon your gut or emotion, which is really a terrible investment strategy. A lot of investors, their strategy is buy and hold. But before they even buy and hold an investment, they really don't have any rules why they're buying what they're buying, other than maybe they know it by name. So again, buy and hold is not an investment strategy either, because I have never seen an investment that you'd want to hold for the next 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. Things can change over time, and your investment strategy will dictate when you need to sell an asset because there is a better opportunity for some of that capital. Each and every month, we look at something called relative strength investing within our GTOP portfolio for Resney Wealth Management. Each and every month, we drop off the weakest link of that relative strength part of our portfolio and replace it with the next highest relative strength on a monthly basis. What does that do for our portfolio? What it basically does, it's there to achieve less volatility and help increase rates of return within the portfolio. It is a very systematic, rules-based strategy, not only that has worked for us, but also we've back tested, and it's worked actually quite well over long periods of time. Anytime you are putting together an investment strategy, not only do you want to see if it obviously has worked in the past, because that's going to give you at least an indication, no guarantee to the future of course, but give you an indication, hey, if I use these kind of parameters, if I'm a value investor and I buy value this or value that based upon book value or dividend ratios or whatever your metrics are, has it worked in the past? To me, I think that's a likelihood that it may be a strategy that might be successful in the future. So one of the things that I stress is this: you need an investment strategy. It needs to be very detailed and rules-based, and that you follow it religiously. Now, every investment strategy is not going to work for short periods of time. It could be a month, could be 6 months or a year. But if you look at most successful investors who have been around many, many years, and they follow a rules-based investment strategy, they're more apt to be more successful than an individual investor or somebody using a broker or so-called advisor who's basically doing an allocation and jumping from this investment to that investment with really no rhyme or reason. That's why most investors tend to buy high and sell low. They chase things that appear to be good or that are going up at exactly the wrong time. That's why an investment strategy and rules-based investing is important. I hope you understand that. We always welcome you to call our office and sit down with us and find out about our investment strategy and how Resney Wealth Management actually does deploy a realistic rules-based investment strategy to help you achieve your retirement goals, to keep you happy and, in our opinion, safe throughout your retirement. You need to manage your money, and you need an investment strategy to do that. As for the economy, we've seen a lot of volatility in the last week again. We've seen a halfway decent week last week in the market. This week was off to a halfway decent start. Is this what we call a dead cat bounce? Is this basically people jumping and trying to buy the lows? Could be. We've looked at some of the numbers that have come out. ADP numbers again, nothing great this morning. We're waiting for the unofficial unemployment numbers that come out this week, and the ISM, Institute of Supply Management numbers that come out to kind of see where those are at. Bernanke and team, after their last meeting a few weeks ago, looking at their Fed minutes, basically stated a couple things that they some of them were in favor of QE2, or quantitative easing, 3, excuse me, and I think there is some of that possibly baked into the equation here. I think ultimately, if you look at the numbers, the economy has drastically slowed, not only in the U.S. but over in Europe, and I fear that that spells a possibility of a double-dip recession. Will the government, though, do what's right to pull us out of the chance of a double-dip recession? Will they do what's right to really create meaningful jobs in this country? Or is it going to be a lot of fluff like we've seen the last 2.5 years since the market bottom? I would say it would be realistically, no realistic plan at all. I really hope the government can pull their act together, and I believe today investors need to be a little bit more cautious. Our market trend indicators, not only short-term, intermediate, and long-term on the U.S.-based markets and international-based markets, have all turned decisively negative. Now, what I would tell you is we look at those and we look for a rebound in some of those, so at least the trend starts to change direction. But right now it is down. Even though we've had a little recoup in the markets are still decisively, substantially down from where they were a month and a half ago. So I would tell you, until our market trend indicators, at least on the short term, indicate a reversal of that trend, which we're getting a little close to, do not add to equity-based investments. I think a more conservative stance at this point is warranted. As I told you weeks and weeks and weeks ago, various indicators that we had were signaling a sell on various markets. We have raised some cash. We are a little bit more defensive, and that's exactly what our clients pay us to do. Investment management is a process. You need an investment strategy. I hate to beat this one over the head, but too many investors today are using Mr. Broker at a brokerage firm or a bank representative or insurance agent. These people are not money managers. They don't have an investment strategy in writing. If you think they do, ask them to produce it. They should easily give you a piece of paper that says, here's our investment strategy, here's how we follow it, how we do our research, so you understand that they're actually doing what you think they're going to do, instead of you guessing or thinking they're doing something when they're really not. Investment strategy, extremely important. As always, this is Brian Resney with the Resney Wealth Report. We continue to watch these markets. We will make appropriate changes for our clients when necessary. As always, call our office if you'd like to sit down with me, talk about our GTOP portfolios, how we manage money, how our investment strategy is put together, and how it works for your retirement. I think you'd be impressed. Call us at any time. We'd love to work with you. And as always, make sure you do listen to my Sunday show. This Sunday from 10 to noon, it's going to be very impressive, and we've got some important urgent news that we will be discussing after the jobs report this week. Have yourself an extremely profitable week.